They made no noise. They moved carefully, like when we surround wounded prey. Ivan wasn't looking at me with the disgust from the last time at the warehouse. His eyes were bulging, fixed on the black water behind me, where the creature's ripples had not yet disappeared. He had seen it. "So that's your trick," he said, advancing slowly over the ice, his voice hoarse with cold and greed. "You've been fattening up for weeks while we ration boot leather. And all this time, you had a gold mine hidden in this hole." Ivan gave a quick nod. The largest of his men twisted my arm behind my back and forced me to my knees on the ice, leaning all his weight on me so I couldn't move. The other one, a skinny guy with a frost-covered beard, stepped slowly toward the hole. Holding the gaff with both hands as if it were a spear. Ivan stayed by my side, arms crossed, waiting to see the glow. The skinny one reached the edge and knelt carefully. He peered into the black water, stretching his neck as far as he could. I stopped breathing. The wind stopped for a second, and the silence became absolute on the lake. The man looked, squinting through the darkness, and waited. Nothing. He turned toward us, relaxing his shoulders, a look of disappointment on his face. "Boss, there's nothing here," he said, letting his guard down. "It's just a dirty hole." He didn't even get to stand up. Just behind his neck, a blue hand shot out of the water. Long, clawed fingers closed violently around his beard. There was no struggle. It was a sharp, brutal tug. The man was dragged backward with a force that snapped his neck. He vanished beneath the surface in the blink of an eye. Only a muffled gurgle was heard, a breaking bubble, and then the silence fell upon us again like a slab. The one pinning me against the ice let out a sharp scream, and the weight vanished from my back all at once. He threw himself backward, crawling through the snow to get away from the water, terrified of being the next one. Ivan stepped back 2 paces, his face white, clutching the club against his chest. He was no longer looking at me, nor at the fish. His eyes were glued to the circle of black water that had swallowed his man without leaving a single drop of blood. The water was still again, as if nothing had ever happened. I didn't wait to see if she would come out again. I got up and bolted toward the shore. No one yelled at me, no one tried to stop me. The fear of what lived beneath the ice outweighed their greed. I reached the solid snow and didn't stop until I saw my cabin door, clutching the fish against my body as if it were my own life. I reached the cabin with my heart in my throat, and the open door confirmed my worst fears. There was no one there. On the floor, next to the empty cot, heavy boot prints had trampled the fresh snow. Fresh, dragging something toward the village. I didn't scream, nor did I waste time crying. I followed the trail directly to the only place where Ivan felt safe, the old, stone, salt-curing warehouse. I entered without knocking. The blast of heat hit my face the moment I crossed the threshold. They had turned the wood stove up to the maximum. In the center, tied to a chair and dangerously close to the fire, was my mother. Her head was hanging, and her skin was gray, drying and cracking from the excessive heat. Ivan was standing next to her, one hand on her shoulder, and the other stroking the handle of a knife. His last man, the biggest one, was blocking the exit. "I told you were smart, Leo," Ivan said, smiling with that twisted smirk. "I knew you'd come back." "Let her go," I said, taking a step forward. "She has nothing to do with this." Ivan shook his finger no. "I don't want your fish, boy. I've seen what's in the lake. I want the owner. You're the only one that thing doesn't tear apart, so you're going to go find her. You're going to bring her here, alive, so I can chain her up. If you come back alone, or with tricks, I'll push your old woman against the stove." I looked at my mother. She was barely breathing. If I fought there, she would die before I could even touch Ivan. I had to swallow my rage and think fast. "She can't walk on land," I lied, my voice trembling just enough to seem defeated. "She'll suffocate. If you want me to bring her here alive, I need water. I need the tank on the sled." Ivan exchanged a look with his man and nodded. "Go with him, and that tank better come back full." We went out to the backyard. The henchman hitched 2 old bony nags to the cargo sled, where the enormous wooden barrel we used for brine was resting. The animals blew steam from their nostrils, restless, but the man's whip set them in motion. The trip to the lake was tense. Only the creaking of the wood and the horses' hooves on the hard snow could be heard. Upon reaching the hole, the man reined in the beasts and forced me to stand on the edge with the harpoon pointing at my back.